Ubisoft actually pulled it off. I'm talking about Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. Came out last week. I have been thoroughly addicted to this game ever since it came out. I've been having a great time with it. It's not a perfect game though, so this is going to be a pretty unstructured video. I just want to talk about the good things I like about the game, the bad, the mixed. So let's go ahead and get right into it. The first thing I want to talk about is the combat actually, which is I'm seeing very mixed opinions on. I've been playing the heck out of this game. I've been watching YouTube videos, all that kind of stuff. So my entire feed is Assassin's Creed right now. And when I look at the comment section, I see people like kind of arguing back and forth, so mixed on this. First off, my take is I've been enjoying the combat. I've been having a ton of fun with it. And I don't know how else to describe the combat besides the fun factor that it has. I'm not looking at this from like a difficulty Elden Ring perspective. I am thinking of the original, but also not, because it's been 13 years since the original came out. I would expect the combat to be different. To me, the combat is fun. It is. There's a parry system, you can dodge, you can chain abilities together. So like you could hit someone with your sword, kick them, pull them in with a rope dart, trip them, and then execute them all on the same guy, which I personally find fun as hell. It very much like makes you feel like you're Edward Kenway, which is what the original games did. Like you felt like this unstoppable tank. And that's kind of what I remembered from the original. That was a bit of a complaint at the time, is like the combat's kind of too easy. You can just dodge any attack and it's unrealistic. The Edward's killing everybody. I never cared about that. This is Assassin's Creed. It is diving off of a clock tower into a thing of, hey, really realistic. Like, I'm not playing it for realism, all right? I just want to feel badass as an assassin. This combat system makes me feel badass, and that's what I love about it. The complaints are totally fair, though. Like, you can't use your fists anymore. Previously, you could just literally knock people out with your bare knuckles. You could counter someone and disarm them and then use their own sword against them. You could use hidden blades in combat. All of that's gone. The only type of weapon you have now are your two swords. Obviously, you can choose the type of sword, but there's no other like weapon on land, like land combat, besides your swords. And that is rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. That's totally fair. I mean, that's a valid criticism. If you were someone who did like a lot of unarmed combat and a lot of hidden blade combat, I can see how the new system might kind of frustrate you. A lot of people don't like the whole parry system either, and the lock-on system. The lock-on actually is fair. That drives me kind of crazy. When you're boarding a ship and there's a ton of enemies around, you don't really want to lock on to one of them because there's like someone right behind you that's going to hit you at the back. And the parry system doesn't always work all the time. Like maybe this is a skill issue. This very much could be like a me problem, a K-Stank problem. When someone goes to hit me behind the back, I cannot parry them most of the time. I try, but it's like Edward doesn't do anything. He just gets hit in the back. Maybe that's a design decision. Maybe that is me being retarded. It's very possibly me being retarded. I'm not too sure yet. And the combat seems kind of like unbalanced. And what I mean is if it's a one-on-one encounter, like there's one enemy, then the lock-on makes sense, and you are going to absolutely annihilate that enemy. There's even a couple quests where it's like a mini-boss that you fight, like he has a health bar at the top of the screen. It's generally one-on-one if you took out his buddies, and you're just gonna annihilate him. Like, it's just not difficult. At the same time, due to the parry issue I mentioned, where like someone's gonna hit you from behind and it's hard to dodge, you can get overwhelmed on a ship pretty easily, and not because it's like good that there's a lot of enemies, so he should be overwhelmed and it's like intentional. It doesn't feel that way. It feels like you get overwhelmed because it's a little clunky. So keep that stuff in mind with the combat. It is a bit hit or miss, but overall, I find myself loving it. I am a really big Assassin's Creed fan, at least of the old games. This does have the newer combat system in it, but it's enjoyable for me. So just know that going into the game, the combat's going to be a really big part of this. If anything I said turns you off, you're probably not going to like this remake. Naval Combat, on the other hand, I straight up don't have a complaint for. Maybe I should. I love the naval combat of the game. They basically kept it exactly the same, but they added like more weapon variety for your ship. So you have your broadside cannon, and then you could switch to like a fire cannon. They still have the regular heavy shot in there. For your front cannons, it's the normal like chain shot. You can also switch to full-blown cannonballs. Same thing with the fire barrels in the back. You can switch to another barrel type. I forget the name. It's missing me right now, but there's two barrel types you can choose from. So as you progress through the game and you unlock these different weapon types for your ship, when it happened to me, I thought like I wouldn't use them. I would just kind of play the game like when it came out in 2013, like I would just normal cannons and stuff. That's not true. I found myself actually switching between the weapon types because they do kind of matter. Like if you're up close for your broadside cannons, you're going to want to use the fire ones. But then say you're attacking like a naval fort, for example, it can very much be in your best interest to switch to a normal broadside cannon and shoot them further away, like assuming you're not that close, because the different weapon types, like it's the range varies on them. So it overall, I just kind of really enjoyed the two different weapon types you can switch for each type of weapon you have. They added the ability to do a dash as well. Or a bash, I should say. You just click the two left bumpers on your controller and the ship just starts speeding up to go ram another ship. And kind of a minor feature, but I'm here for it. It's really useful. I kind of don't use it for actual ramming that much. What I use it for is to just make the ship go faster as I'm traveling. I kind of just cheese it. But it's kind of cool. I mean, it fits in the game really well. It almost seems like it could have been like cut content from the original. Like I think that fits in the game very well. Within the context of naval combat, boarding another ship is still there. I not noticing any major changes here. They still have like cut the enemy flag down and then you kill enough enemies to reduce the morale and all that stuff. They kept that. It seems unchanged to me. You can still repair your ship or send it to Kinway's fleet, or they did add a new option actually. If it's a frigate or a man of war, there's a new option after you finish the boarding scene to get the captain's locker. I love that. You can it kind of adds a little like risk reward balance, at least for me, because I'll be like in the middle of a pretty big gunfight with maybe say 2 frigates and 2 man of wars. I'm not getting my ass kicked, but I kind of am at the same time. And then I board one of these man of wars kind of going into it. Like I'm going to repair my ship. And then when I see get captain's locker, the greed takes over. I just want the extra money. So I end up going with the captain's locker. I don't refill my health. And then now there's still 3 ships surrounding me, so I gotta be careful to not die. It's a welcome addition having the captain's locker for the frigate and man of wars. It just fits in really well. Everything else about the naval and boarding process is the same, though, I'd say. So it's not like they made any bad changes there. The worst part about the boarding is kind of what we already talked about, like with the combat. It can just feel a little crowded at times and difficult, which honestly, maybe this is a skill issue. I kind of had issues with naval combat with the original game sometimes. Like I would just miss counters because there's so much shit going on at once. So maybe that's a me problem. I don't know. One thing we haven't talked about yet was the graphics. I mean, the world looks gorgeous. The graphics are a major upgrade. I've seen some people saying that like there's certain cutscenes in the original that they think looks a little bit better. They kind of prefer the gritty look, but most of the comments that I see people saying where they think the original looks better, I think they're smoking something, dude. This game looks really, really good. Of course, like graphics aren't everything. We've talked about some changes they made. Maybe you don't like the naval combat updates. Maybe you hate the combat updates like on land. There's more changes we're going to talk about in this video that you might not like. But ignoring those changes, like the graphics themselves are really, really well done. This is a gorgeous looking game. I'm not going to say it's the best looking game ever. I don't know. What do you guys think the best looking game ever is? Leave a comment down below what you think the best looking game ever is. I'm thinking maybe Cyberpunk or 2077, something like that. That game is very hard to beat, but this game, Assassin's Creed Resynced, does look phenomenal. Everything from the characters to the world, the ocean, the forests, like all of it. It looks phenomenal. There's a lot of quality of life improvements they added, so there's no loading screens anymore to like Havana or Kingston or the big major cities. The original game actually did really well with keeping as few loading screens as it could. Like the original game, you could get off of a ship and just go swim to an island. But when it came to Havana or a bigger settlement, there was a loading screen when you went to dock, and now that's gone. It's totally seamless, and it just fits so well. It keeps the whole world open. You can go a very long time without a loading screen now. I mean, unless if you fast travel or something like that. There's more here. You can have Edward like sit down and it'll skip to nighttime, or if it already is nighttime, it'll skip to daytime. Just like a little time pass feature, which is a little buggy. A lot of the time I go to use it and it says unable to skip time right now. It's kind of finicky, but when you get Edward in the right spot, it works well enough. The tailing missions are gone, thank goodness. I mean, they're not gone. They're like in the game, but you can just go kill whoever the hell you're supposed to target and go loot his body. Like, unlike the original, I find myself not really getting annoyed with tailing missions in this game. Actually, not at all. I don't want to make that sound like I kind of got annoyed. I didn't at all. When I was playing the missions, I didn't once think to myself, like, why do I have to tail this guy? The original game, that's a totally different story. Even though I love Black Flag, both the remake and the original, I struggle to play the original with how many damn tailing missions there are in that game. That's not a problem with the remake. They added a feature where if you're on a mission and you need to walk alongside someone, you can just hold like A, if you're on PlayStation X, I would imagine, to just follow along and walk with that character. Minor feature, but I'm here for it. I mean, how many games have a different walk speed for like an NPC and a player? So then when you need to follow that NPC, if you just press up on the joystick all the way, you go too fast, then you need to slow down, then you need to speed up, then you need to slow down, then you need to speed up, then you need to slow down. It just, I don't know why so many games screw this up. So many games mess it up. Not a problem here. You can just follow them or hold the button to follow them. Edward will walk alongside them. It's not a big deal. They made the stealth a lot better. So you can, first of all, you can crouch now. I talked about this in my other video, but crouching is like, I was already looking forward to it. It's better than I thought it would be, and it fits this game more than I thought it would. So stealth just makes a lot more sense now. It's way easier. Since you can crouch, you can use the environment to your advantage a lot better. You don't need to be like in a designated hiding spot, which is what the OG like older Assassin's Creed games had. Like you'd have a crowd, or you'd have a haystack or a bench or a set of bushes somewhere, and it had to be those or else you were more or less seen. I guess you could climb up, but this game's, I mean, obviously that's all still here, but you can actually like crouch behind a box of some kind. The box is not like a designated stealth mechanic, but it blocks the line of sight. So it just helps. It fits Assassin's Creed so well. I don't think they had crouching until like Origins, or maybe it was Assassin's Creed Unity. I'm actually not sure. Maybe you guys know when crouching was added, but long story short, it was very late into the Assassin's Creed games. There were like 5 of them, maybe more, before they added crouching. It fits this one well. When you combine it with the rolling mechanic, like you could be crouching and then you could roll into some bushes, it just works. It works so much better than how the original did it. The enemy AI with stealth seems to gotten like a little smarter. I would say it's still kind of dumb, but it is better. So what I mean by that is if you're in bushes and you have like these 2 enemies, like they're both talking to each other, and you assassinate one of them, the other will actually notice that and start investigating you. And if you take him out, maybe the guy up on the watchtower was looking at the second guy, and now the guy on the watchtower noticed that you did that, and now he's gonna like start investigating. It's kind of minor, but I think I'm not coming at this from a difficulty perspective that like it makes stealth more difficult and that's why it's fun. It just makes the world feel more alive to me. It's like, oh, you're like assassinating all of these guards and they're actually starting to notice like what you're up to. The original game, it did not feel like that to me. Maybe it did. I just don't remember it feeling like that. This game, it's probably even better if you put it on the hard difficulty. At least according to the text during the difficulty slider, it's like if you put it on hard, they will look up more and they'll be more aware of what you're doing. So it might be even better on hard. I haven't tried hard. I just played on normal for this. Overall, I'd say the stealth AI is a little better. I mean, it is still cheesy. Like you can, what I was just talking about, where they come investigating, you can still cheese that. So you can just like assassinate a guy and then his friend is like, oh no, and he comes investigate. So you assassinate him. And then his friend sees it and comes and investigates and you assassinate him. So it's just like this chain where you can basically stay in the same spot and just endlessly assassinate 3 or 4 people just by not doing anything. So it's a little cheesy, but I mean, I don't really care. I have fun with it. The performance of the game has been pretty solid for me. I mean, I'm not going to spend too long on this. I'm sure you guys can find like a real benchmark video out there that'll go way more in technical detail than I am, but I just want to let you know, I played on the PC port. I do have a pretty powerful computer. It's from 2020. I have an RTX 3090 in there. I got very stable frame rates. I didn't have any lag spikes. I play in 4K. I had ray tracing turned up all the way. The game looked gorgeous. It played very nice. I did have one hard crash around the 15-hour mark, but I haven't had any more crashes at all. And I don't even think I've had lag spikes since then. Maybe like one lag spike, but it's overall been a very steady frame rate, a very steady experience overall. And hey, I mean, I made a video talking about custom game engines. This is made with the custom game engine. This is exactly what I'm talking about, of like good on Ubisoft for actually still taking the time to invest in custom tech, because if this was on Real Engine, I promised I'd have a totally different story for performance. So they changed the fleet system. You know, you're out on the sea and then you take on a man of war or a frigate or whatever kind of ship, doesn't really matter. And you board it, you complete the boarding process, then you can send it to Kinway's fleet. And you can manage the fleet from the manor or from the captain's cabin. And it is different, and I don't know how to feel about it. I'm mixed, I would say. I don't think I love it. I don't think I hate it. So first of all, you can have 10 ships now. Maybe I'm misremembering things. I thought you could have 15 or 20 in the original, like more than 10. More importantly than the limit of ships is the way the missions work. It's like each mission is designed for a certain ship. So a frigate can only do like a mission to scout out a warehouse. That's like the only point of a frigate, is scouting out to resupply a warehouse early. Then the man of wars can do missions to decrease the risk level. A brig can do a mission for piracy, I believe, if I'm remembering that correctly. And then a shooter can do a mission for like trade. So like you say you have some tobacco, you can like send a shooter out to trade that tobacco for some money. I don't mind that. I mean, it kind of makes sense. In the OG game, this would be like we'd all have 20 man of wars, and we'd use the man of wars for trading and for piracy and for defense. Like we'd use them for everything, kind of. I mean, not all of us. I know like there were times I tried to balance like the frigates and man of wars. I don't know if I ever had schooners. Like at least in this game, it gives you a reason to recruit each ship type, but it's just different the way the fleet system works. I could not stand the new fleet system when I first looked at it, because I didn't know how it worked, and it was really upsetting. Now that I've played the game for 30 plus hours and I've gotten used to managing the fleet, I can kind of see like you kind of start to get a routine down. Like I'll send my man of wars to certain locations, and then I'll rerun the same like piracy and trade missions, and you do get a decent amount of money from them. So it's not the worst thing in the world. It's just different. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if I would say I loved the original. The original was pretty simple too. It's just side content. It is there. They didn't strip it. It's not terrible. It's just different. And I don't know how you'll feel about it. Maybe you will hate it. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm mixed on it. You'll just have to try out the fleet system to see what you think of it. It's a bit of a mixed bag for me. So they added like officers to the game, and officers are these people that'll join you on their ship. There's two of them. There's Padre, and then there is Lucy. To get these characters, you need to like do their quest line. I'll get to their quest line in a minute. Once you have them unlocked, they do add gameplay features. So like I believe, someone correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure the ability to like to ram on your ship that I was talking about earlier, I believe Lucy adds that. She also adds the ability to do a perfect brace. So like when you brace, if you time it right, it's like a perfect brace, and you can tank some serious damage with that. It helps with the legendary ships, which I still have not defeated. I got so close with one. I'm still kind of going through and upgrading my ship to make it a little bit easier, but it helps a ton with legendary ships and overall combat. The perfect brace is probably like my favorite thing the officers bring. The other one is Padre, and then he adds, I believe, like you shoot your broadside cannons twice. I was going through kind of fast. I didn't necessarily read all the abilities that they add, but I noticed Lucy's the most with the perfect brace and the bashing ability, and I like that fits well. You don't just like start off with the officers. They're actually optional side content. I am pretty sure you could play the entire story without the officers if you wanted to. When you go to get the officers, both Lucy and Padre, they have like their own story. And I would say it's not like the best story. It is all new content. They try to flesh these characters out a little bit, and they make them feel a little human. Like Lucy has an issue with her dad. Padre is like a religious guy, and he has an issue with the person that got him into religion, pretty much. The missions are pretty simple. They're not like super interesting, I would say, but they're enough, you know, enough to kind of flesh the character out a little bit. That's not really why I'm playing these missions anyways. I just want the officers on my ship and to get their abilities, and you do unlock that pretty quick. If I'm not mistaken, I believe you can kind of start the quest and get them on your ship where you have an ability, and if you didn't care about the story, you didn't have to finish it. So yeah, I mean, the officers are, they're definitely not bad. I don't want to say they're bad. They're just kind of like, you could go without them, you know? Like, I wouldn't say you need them, but yeah, it's probably in your best interest to pick them up. At least Lucy, the quartermaster, get her just for the perfect brace alone. As long as you can have that, I'd say do whatever else you want with the officers. One pretty big change from the original is that the whole like Abstergo modern day life thing has been completely removed from this game. I, for one, could not be happier. This is something that's been interesting. So over the years, when I've talked about Black Flag, both to like people in my personal life and just like internet comments and stuff like that, pretty much everyone did not like the modern day Abstergo segments. Like, it was very immersion breaking for me. Totally took me out of it. Like, I was getting really invested into Edward's story. Same thing with the games, like the Ezio games, by the way. But I would get like really invested in the story, and then just out of nowhere, I was pulled out of the Animus and injected into this office simulator where I'm holding around a tablet. I could not stand that part of the original game. That has been totally taken out of this game. And what's interesting is, as I've been looking at comments of like videos recommended to me for Assassin's Creed Resynced, apparently everybody loved this now. I must have missed the memo on this, but I see a ton of people acting like, oh, I loved the modern day life part. Maybe so. Maybe I'm like the odd man out here. I don't know. I do not remember that type of, like, those type of comments going around until it's gone. And then now all of a sudden, like, everybody loved it, apparently. I don't know. It feels a little bandwagony to me. Like, someone said they liked the original, so now everyone else is parroting that. That's kind of what it feels like to me. Maybe I'm wrong. If you didn't like the modern day segments like I didn't, you will be at home here. Like, you will not have to worry about that at all. It is a very welcome change. I could not stand the way they did the modern day segments in this game. So one thing I actually like hate about this game is the freaking project or projects pop-up that happens. I don't even know what I'm talking about because I don't know what it is either. But like, when I launch the game, I get this pop-up that says like, there's a project you completed, look at the rewards. And they use the damn same button as the map menu. So like, I go to open my map to go to wherever the hell I need to go, and no, that's too much to ask for. I can't open a map. It has to be this like project section that I go to for something I'm not interested in at all. And then I'm like, shit, I don't want these projects. I go back and then I press the map button again, and it takes me right back to the projects. And I'm like, Ubisoft, why? Like, because then you just need to like get out of the menus altogether, sit there and wait for this pop-up to go away. When it does, you can finally look at your map. It's just silly. They should have chose a different button. All right, I wanted to demonstrate the UI problem in person, like this project thing I'm talking about. So let's hop into the game here. And let's go ahead and try and open the map. Oh, projects. Okay, this isn't the map. I'm gonna go back. Oh, projects again. Okay, why is the map button not working? You need to wait for this pop-up on the right. If it's still there. Oh, projects. And then I go back. And it's probably gonna show up again. Yeah, sure enough, it is. So I need to wait for this to disappear. There we go. Now, son of a bitch. See what I'm saying? I thought it was done. It went away and it reappeared. It went from projects to synchronization now. So it's two different things. I just want to access the map. So now I gotta wait for synchronization to finish. There we go. Now I can access the map. And I know this seems minor, but it's just like brain dead retarded UI design. Like, why is it like that? It seems to only happen when I launch the game first. Like, if I whatever, I just wanted to show this. That's what I was talking about. This is annoying as hell. And speaking of things that I also cannot stand about this game at all, the microtransactions, like $10 skins, really? I'll be straightforward here and upfront. I got the deluxe edition of the game. I was really looking forward to it. And I figured, to be fair, I usually get deluxe editions of most games. You guys might hate me for that. I don't. It is what it is, man. I just figure the deluxe is the actual game, so that's what I'm gonna get. Maybe it's a greedy, shitty practice for whatever company, but just give me the full game, damn it. So I usually get deluxe editions of most games. This was no exception, and this, if you haven't got the game, don't get the deluxe edition. That's all I'm gonna say. It basically comes with one skin pack. This is different than other games. Some games, when you get like a deluxe or ultimate edition, it actually comes with all the DLC. That is not this game. It comes with one $10 skin pack, and there's 3 more. At least the skin pack looks kind of cool. The other 3 skins look actually retarded to me. I mean, the skins look cool, but not for Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Like, it does not fit the theme whatsoever. And they're $10 a pop. Like, really? When the game came out, I witnessed on Steam, like, there was no DLC. I did a refresh, and then 1 DLC popped up. I did a refresh again, and then 4 more were there. Like, in real time, I witnessed that launch on, or show up on launch day, and it's just, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. It is Ubisoft after all, but it still kind of just pisses you off. And, you know, maybe it wouldn't be as enraging if they didn't set the controls the way they did. So when you pause the game, you pause the game. A lot of other games, if you press the pause button again, guess what happens? The pause menu goes away. Not in this game. In this game, the store pops up. So you can imagine, there's no way I'm the only one. You pause the game, you go to unpause it, and instead you get a store menu. What the hell? You know that was an intentional decision by them, and that is shady. So the microtransactions and like how you're just going to accidentally see them, I'll show you why. So I paused the game, right? I just did the normal pause button on my controller here. I'm gonna press pause again, thinking that, hey, that's gonna close the pause menu, right? Oh, no, 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 no. Instead, we're introduced into this hellscape, literally Hellfire character pack. $10 character skin by pressing the pause button twice. That is so malicious. I promise that was intentional. If it wasn't intentional, like, that's just more retarded than I would think. It has to be intentional. Like, how many times do you guys press the pause button to pause and then press the pause button again to not pause? It's like escape, pressing escape again. Like, dude, come on. Has to be intentional. And instead of on pausing, I get to look at these ridiculous character skins. So, yay, microtransactions. I love them. And another really stupid thing was the menu narrator. When I first launched this game, there was menu narrator enabled by default, just blaring and screaming at me by default, and I did not know how to turn it off. Like, it was not obvious to me.
During image calibration, 1 out of 6 slider, brightness, 5, 4 out of 6 toggle, HDR, off.
So I was trying to turn it off, and I just had the freaking menu narrator talking every little tiny thing I did. It was like 4 out of 10 brightness, scrolled down, 5 out of 10 contrast. And I'm just like, why is this enabled by default? Why? There have been some like animation downgrades, so to speak, with the remake here. So I'm going to put some footage. I did not find this. This comes from a smaller YouTube channel I found, The Corner Entertainment. I hope I'm saying that right. I'll put the footage up here. It's a YouTube short I found where he talks about, he's calling it contextual animations that are different. And I'll just play this clip for you real quick.
In the old game, I don't even know what to call this, contextual animations or some shit like that. I don't know. But there were always animations that gave you feedback as you move through the environment that was specific to the kind of environment you were acting with. So for example, when you would jump through this in the original one, maybe I'll throw up footage, he would always touch the sides to kind of brace himself in between those 2 sticks and then jump through. And the animation's actually there, but if you're moving completely forward with forward momentum, it's not. And his hands just clip through the poles. Watch this. Look, you see that? See how his hands just clip through? Bam. Bam. Invisible. Lazy.
Yeah, that's an interesting find. So the original game, Edward would like hold on to the sides like branches, and then in the new game, if you're just going fast, he kind of clips through like you saw in that video. Definitely something to pay attention to. I'm not sure if that kind of thing kind of like gets under your skin and bothers you because it makes Ubisoft seem lazy, and I can see how you might feel that way. I I can look past it. It is a small detail. It's not huge to me. That channel, actually, I just showed you, the Corner Entertainment. He had a couple of other good things that he pointed out. Another one was like how high Edward will climb up now. It's like he's doing like a freaking 12-foot vertical leap compared to the old game. So there's definitely some differences like in the small details like that. And if that kind of thing bothers you, I mean, just know that going into it, I guess. To me, it's not that big of a deal. I think overall the remake I've been really enjoying. It's a good game to me. It does have some quirks. I would not call this game like Ubisoft slop. Like I have seen some people like really hating on this game, and I think it's a bit unfair. I do think this is a really solid remake. It stays very true to the original game. Yeah, things changed. The combat has changed. You might not like the combat. That's like a really big warning here. Like you might not like the combat at all. It seems hit or miss. I have been enjoying it because it's just fun, but I see like a lot of missing things was in the original that's not in this one. But the naval combat is still great. The story is still a story. They didn't like rewrite anything. They added a couple side characters. There's more weapons for your ships. It's still Black Flag. There's no loading screens. There's quality of life improvements here. Of course, we talked about some of the bad things, like the freaking microtransactions that you're gonna accidentally pop up on your damn menu drive me crazy. The fleet system is kinda meh. Like, I'm getting used to it. That doesn't mean I love it though. The UI is kind of weird the way they chose to do it, how like just opening some menu you don't even care about is also the same button as the pause menu or the map menu sometimes. So it's not perfect, but I would not call this Ubisoft slop. I think this is a step in the right direction, but it is a remake. So they already had a good game to start with. They just had to not screw it up, which is a lot easier than making a new game from scratch, right? I mean, at least they didn't screw this one up. I am glad to see Ubisoft actually making a game I enjoy for once. I don't want to just hate on Ubisoft because a lot of my favorite games throughout my life have been Ubisoft games. I want them to do well. They just upset all of us so many times, and they upset me with parts of this game. But overall, I've been having a great time with it. I'm thoroughly addicted to it. I'm going to keep playing it after this video for sure. So yeah, that's really my take on all this. Thanks for sticking around. If you made it this long to me just kind of going off and talking about the game, I really appreciate it. It's about all I got to say. I'll catch you in the next one.